This video covers the first several topics in our orientation program, from arrival all the way through dining and travel arrangements while we're in Regensburg. We're going to start out at the Semester in Regensburg website. This is the home page of that site. This is the roster of our 2015 faculty and students. And what we're going to be working with tonight is the program orientation. And you should, especially if you're interested, get on the computer that you have access to and log on to it and get access to this site so that you can follow along with us if you'd like to. Now, because information is all online, it's going to be available to you whenever you need it. So if you'd like to refresh your memory on some of the things we talk about tonight, you can always come back to this page and go over the materials that we have. What we're going to do tonight is I will go over some of the basics in each of these topics. Then we'll stop the process, stop the video, and you'll have a chance to ask our faculty who are in attendance at the session about any questions that you might have, and also to discuss this in more detail if you need to do that. So we're going to cover pre-departure preparation, arrival in Regensburg, housing, dining, and travel arrangements now. The pre-departure preparation is exactly what we're in the middle of. We are doing the on-campus orientation tonight. Students, as you are well aware, you are in the middle of the process of completing the Horizons material, the applications in the Horizon system, and all the additional information that you need to track you in the course of your study abroad experience. We will cover tonight a little bit on course schedules and textbooks. The exact schedule is not going to be determined until we actually get to Regensburg, but there are some things we can tell you about that. Before you go, you'll be in the process of making travel arrangements, and you're on your own to do that. We will tell you how to go about that and when you need to arrive, depending on the types of activities you plan before or after the program. We'll talk to you a little bit about financial and communication planning. We'll give you your options tonight, and you can go over those. And then you'll pack and prepare and get ready to go. Once you've done that, we'll move on to the second topic, which is arrival in Regensburg. Most of you will be flying into the Munich airport, and this link is to an English language information site for that airport to give you an idea of where you'll be landing and what some of the transportation options are for you. If you arrive on the designated start date of the program, you will be met by someone at the airport, and we will try and do that even if you come a little bit earlier to try and make sure you can get to Regensburg. But the Munich airport is about an hour and a half's drive, a couple hours train ride to Regensburg, and we'll make sure you make those connections and communications when you first arrive in Munich. Once you arrive in Regensburg, these are some of the sources of information that you'll have to help you get acclimated there. The tourist office, this is the main site for the tourist office. This is their English language page. So if you want to, before we arrive, if you want to go over some of this material on the history of Regensburg, some of the resources that are available, some pictures and sites from around the city, this is a good way to get acclimated before you go. This is sort of the classic view of Regensburg over a 13th century bridge to a 14th century cathedral across the Danube. It is just an absolutely beautiful city, and this explains to you how you can take advantage of some of the opportunities there. We also have a link here to a map of the city, and this is actually in a site that has additional types of information as well. Now, later on we'll talk about how you can use your smartphones wisely in Regensburg or in Germany and Europe, even if you do not have phone service and don't use them for phone service, which will be the situation for most of you. But one of the ways you can do that is to download to your phone a static map of the city, which you can use whether you're online or offline. And if you activate the location component of your smartphone, it will help you navigate the city itself. This is one map of the city that you can use for reference purposes, but notice here as well that this also has a variety of additional information about the city. So here's something about the history, some places you might want to visit, castles nearby, gardens and parks that are in the neighborhood of the city and around various portions of the city, theater, cinema, and shopping sorts of opportunities. So this is another resource that helps you get the lay of the land and see where those opportunities are located around town. We also have a link here to the program schedule. Now this one is not activated yet. This is still the fall 2014 program schedule. This is a Google Calendar that we will share with you when it becomes available. When some of the actual classes have been scheduled, which we have to work out on our own as we go along, it will be included here as well. So this will be a resource that you can use either before the program or during the program to keep track of exactly what's going on. The other factor to think about here, and we put it under arrival because it usually crops up pretty quickly after you get there, is culture shock. Now there is a good set of information in the IIS Education Abroad orientation package in Canvas on culture shock. You should definitely review that. Understand the symptoms, understand the characteristics of this phenomenon, understand as well that you'll be able to work through it, and that you actually will have the same experience coming back home in December, so that you recognize what you're experiencing when you do, and it won't come as a big surprise to you, and you can handle it a little bit more effectively. So just know that that's going to happen and that's going to be there. Once you've arrived in Regensburg, well, the first thing we do is take care of your housing, dining, and travel arrangements. And these links are indicative of how those arrangements will be handled. So the first one is to the University Student Housing Office, which is this site. It's a site provided by the University of Regensburg for international students in English that answers a variety of questions about where you'll be living, what your rooms will look like, where you can wash clothes, where you can make phone calls, where you can cook, where you can eat. And so they describe a great deal of information about your day-to-day living arrangements while you're a student at the university. Now, our particular dorm will be this one on Eberstrasse, and we have this site that gives you some information, some site-specific information about this particular rooming area. These are relatively new dorms. They're a short bus ride from campus. We will be living there in almost entirely single-person rooms that are parts of suites. The suites will have both male and female students in them. You will share bathroom facilities, and you will share cooking facilities. And when you first arrive, there won't be very many students in the housing facilities, simply because this isn't the regular University of Regensburg semester. It doesn't start till mid-October. But there will be other international students there that you'll get to meet, and later on you'll have a chance to meet some of the students from the regular Regensburg students as they move in mid-October and start their classes back. So your group will grow as you go along. We will be relatively close to each other. You may not have a Murray State colleague in the same suite, but you will be relatively close. You will have the opportunity, if you wish, to share cooking facilities, to share activities with other Murray State students, in addition to the other people who are living with you in each of the suites. In terms of meals, what we will do to provide you with resources for meals is that each Monday we're going to give you some of your program fee back. You'll get it in cash. You'll get it from the resident director, who will describe that procedure to you in just a little bit, and you'll get it in one of your first classes on Monday morning, which is why you absolutely want to be sure you're back from your travels and back in class on that Monday morning. And you can spend that money however you want to. You can go into restaurants or pubs or pensions in town, in restaurants, but you also have access to the dining facilities at the University of Regensburg. This is a series of cafes or minces around campus, both at the university and at the University of Regensburg and at the Technical University of Regensburg just down the road. The link that you see there takes you to an information source for the minces, and there you will find menus that describe the offerings that are available to you every day. Now you can download this to your smartphone as well over a Wi-Fi connection, so you can decide whether or not you want to use the minces as you go along. Now they are in German, but they have some indications of the types of food, some icons that tell you the types of food that you're getting. So there are meat dishes, vegetarian dishes, main dishes, side dishes, and desserts available every day. And notice as you go through there that there are 3 different prices for each item on the menu. That's for students, staff, and guests, and they're priced in euros. So the first price, the one on the far left, is the one that you pay because your meals are subsidized by the Bavarian government as a result of your student status. And notice that those are about half, sometimes less than half, of the prices paid by guests. So the Mensa is a very, very cost-effective way of eating. You also have access to the cooking facilities in your housing units, and it's very common to share cooking duties with your suite mates or with other people on the program. If you do that, you will be buying food locally from a local grocery store. They call them supermarkets. They're a little bit smaller than what we use that term for. But one of those that's very near you is the Netto on Gesserstrasse, which is very near the Aber dining facilities. And this is a link to that particular store, and it gives you a chance to look at some of the types of food that will be available to you, the descriptions, the way it's packaged, and some of the costs. So this gives you an idea of what it would be like to buy food from the local grocery store and take turns cooking and share that among other program participants or other people in your housing facilities. And several students have done that. That is both economical and it gives you a chance to get to know people and get to interact with them. If you have international students, it gives you a chance to try food from different countries other than Germany, even though Germany is the country that you've chosen to study in. And then finally, the transportation system. The Regensburg RBV is the bus system for the area. You have a link to that one as well. And what I've done is this link will take you to a resource which describes the characteristics of that system and its routes and where it goes. It also describes the fares, but you don't have to worry about that because you will be given a card as part of your university ID card. You have free access to all the buses in that system that you use whenever you want to. We'll give you a separate card early on before that card becomes valid, but you will be able to ride the buses throughout the semester without additional cost. It's very important that you carry that card with you because if you are caught without that card, if you're controlled, if someone shows you a badge and says control, you don't have that card with you, it's about a 40 or 50 euro fine payable on the spot for violations of the RVV rules and regulations. But this is the system that you'll use. We will use a portion of it to travel back and forth to the university. You'll use some of it to get downtown for events in the old city. You might also go to hockey games, to Vestbad to go swimming, or some other facilities around the area. And if you're staying in Regensburg, you can also use your bus pass to get to cities and villages outside town, which have very interesting walking, hiking, biking opportunities for you as well. So this shows you on a general map the layout of the system in Regensburg. Note the extensive routes both north and south of the Danube River. Here's what the map looks like in diagram that shows you the numbers of the buses you might be taking. And then here is the layout of the stops at the major bus stop at the university. It shows you which stops you might be taking for which buses from this particular bus stop at the university campus. You'll also find that it's your bus pass in Regensburg, and your ability to decipher that system will serve you well when you travel to other cities. Because in many of the cities that you're going to, it's possible to buy a 2-3 day transit pass that's used much the same way that you use the system in Regensburg. So if you get used to using the system in Regensburg, that puts you in good stead when you get off the train in a city you've never been before. If you can find the local transport office and buy a similar ticket that gives you unlimited travel throughout that city for the 2 or 3 day duration of your stay, that's a very good, very economical way to get around those cities as well. So that concludes this video on the early part of the program on the pre-departure, arrival, housing, dining, and travel.